We'll continue from the previous lecture where we left off. We started the DevOps series in our previous lecture, right? And we are continuing from there. I am sorry, man. I am in another office call with a client. Sorry if I get disconnected in between. Okay, it's all right. So I'll continue with our DevOps lecture. I'll quickly put the assembly line. Right. So I'm gonna in today's lecture I'm gonna set up a jump box. Right. So this is where I have my EC2 Linux machine. Right, and probably I will install git CLI here, and then for now I'll stick with git CLI. Right, and this jump box is connected to code commit, and further the deployment will happen from code commit to code deploy. Code deploy. Right, and we will see the outcome here. So again, my code deploy environment will be built on top of EC2 here. Right, so this will be my deployment stage in assembly line. This will be build and test. This will be source and code, and this will be my tool stage. Then we have monitoring, and then reporting. So this is our typical assembly line that we had built in our previous lecture. Right, so this is what I'm going to do here. Right, so to connect one or more services I'll be using IAM role here, and even here also I'll be using IAM role. Right, so this is how we're going to work with today's assembly line, where we're going to build these various stages. Right, and this is not for dev or UAT like we saw for Beanstack. This is for production, because I'm going to demonstrate today that I'm going to release or roll my code on multiple servers at the same time. In the previous lecture, I was able to deploy it on one machine. In today's lecture, I'll parallelly deploy on 10, 15, 20 instances. So let me first go and create the jump box here. Before I could create a jump box, I need to create an IAM role. So services in IAM. Right, and I'm going to create a role here. Create a role. This role will be between EC2 and EC2 again. Permissions. So I will be selecting EC2 role for AWS, not this one. Code commit. There you go. Code commit is a role that I will be selecting. Review. And then I'm going to call this EC2 code commit, something like this, so that we can know that this role is designed to connect between my EC2 and code commit service. And click on create. So I'll go and mark that I have created this role now. Now I need to create this EC2 instance. Services EC2 just give me a moment here, prayer is happening. Thank you. I'm back, guys. So I'm in the Mumbai region right now. So what I'm doing is I'm gonna proceed towards creating this jump box. I will be proceeding towards creating this jump box, right, where I have to set up an EC2 instance. So I'm gonna build this EC2 instance, and this will be a Linux machine. Launch instance. Nothing fancy here. I'm gonna select Amazon Linux AMI. T2 micro is fine. I will be selecting this IAM role here. EC2 to code commit role that we created, and add storage. 8 GB is fine. I'm gonna make this 10 GB. Add a tag. I'm gonna call this jump box. Excuse me. Jump box. Configure security group. Nothing fancy, guys. I just need a port 22 here. That's all I need. So I have an existing security group that I'm selecting. But if you're creating a new security group, you would only need port 22 for this. Review. And then I will launch with my keypad. Hey, Abbas. Hey, what are you doing, man? Apart from attending training, you're doing everything else, huh? He's in home. No, man, this much soon he will not go home here. This much soon he'll not go home here. He'll go to some nice place, some dawat types. Nicely having non-veg. And then he'll hang out with friends. And then finally he will go home. He will not go home this much soon. Election time, I think, leaves there. Absolutely correct. That is why I like you, Bernie. That is why I like you, man. You remember everything, yeah. Right? You shouldn't have been in Singapore, man. You should have been in Japan. Right? People will respect you in Japan. People who have sharp memory, they'll respect them. They pay them more money. Japan. Right? So I'm gonna log into this machine now. I'm gonna copy the IP address. So today only you and me are doing training. Nobody's there in the lecture today. Copy the IP address. Browse. And we'll be selecting my key pair here. Let me increase the font size. Hey, Abbas. Hey, Abbas. Apart from training, you're doing everything else, man. Huh? Apart from training, you're doing everything else. So EC2-user, right? And as we have discussed, right, we need to install git CLI here. So that is what we're gonna do here. Git yum install git-y. And put sudo in the front just in case the command doesn't work. All right, that was quick. Now I'll escalate myself as a root user. Where am I? Okay, I'm in this directory. All right. Now this is done. Now what I need is a local package. So I'll get one from GitHub repository. So I've told you to register the GitHub account in your private previous class. No, sorry, I was continuously getting call and rejecting. This time I had to pick, so no more disturbance. You said apart from attending. Yeah, apart from attending class. Like Bernie was telling, I did not say anything. Bernie was telling that I told him that you may be at your home, and Bernie was saying that you're outside and you're partying somewhere, right? That is what Bernie was telling. So we need a project, right? We need a project. And we want to keep this session entertaining, right? So that you can remember the lecture. You don't sleep off. So we need a project. So we will go to my GitHub repository here. We'll click on AWS Code Deploy Linux. And I told you already in your previous lecture also, you have to click on fork here to copy projects from my AWS account to yours. Right? So I click on clone and download, and I'll copy this link quickly here. I've copied the link. Now I will run this command: git clone, like, and then I will enter this code here. When I paste this in and enter, the code will download into my Linux machine. If I do ll, I have this. So cd AWS. If I do ll, I have all my files that I need to use for this project. Now if I go back to my Excel sheet, now I need to create my code commit. I need to create my code commit repository, and that is where I'm heading to now. Services, code commit. This is like a GitHub. As I told you before, like we have GitHub outside. In AWS, they have their own GitHub, and we call that code commit. Right? Like we have Amazon Linux, which is derivative of Red Hat. We have Aurora, which is derivative of MySQL. We have code commit, which is a derivative of GitHub. Get started. I'm gonna create a repository name here. AWS Code Deploy project, and create a repository. And I have the repository right now. Right? It is asking me to copy this. I'll copy this. Come back here. I'll paste it. So for some reason, the first line did not get copied. Let me try that one more time. I'll see to that in a moment here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy the third line here and go back and type push. Right? I just will change push here. Everything is same, and hit enter. Okay, so I know what is the problem here. Control C. I have to make sure I select Linux here. This was my mistake. I did not select Linux operating system. This was my mistake. Let me do that one more time. Copy this. Now paste it. Both work flawlessly. Right? Now git push. Say it worked. That's it. Now if I go back and check, I should have the code here. Close and refresh. There you go. All the codes have appeared here. So this is how you can commit your codes from your Linux machine to your code commit repository. Right? Now let me continue further here. Right? Now I have to go and create another role for me to use code deploy services here. So I'm proceeding towards creating two more roles. Right? The first role will be a CD instance role. CD instance, and then CD service. And these are the two rows that I will be creating now. Services IAM role, and then you create a role here. So this role will be between EC2 and EC2 again. Permissions, and now EC2 role for AWS code deploy. Now I will select this role. Amazon EC2 role for AWS code deploy. Next, and I'm going to call this CD instance role. This is the first role that I will be creating. After this, one more role, create role, and this time I will directly select code deploy here. My code deploy is right here. Again, code deploy, and it has already pre-populated a role for me, AWS code deploy role. You review it, and then I'm going to call this CD service role for my services, and then I will create it. That's it. Now let me continue further. Services EC2, right? And then I'm going to click on launch instance. I'm proceeding towards creating a code deploy services, but before that I need to create EC2 instances. EC2 instance is a prerequisite for code deploy. So I'll be selecting Linux machine here, T2 micro. So the first step here is I'm going to make sure that if I'm doing this rollout on more than 2 machines, if I could do it on 2, therefore I can do it on 20 or 200. Hence it is 2. Are you getting my point? Right. The second thing is I'll be selecting that IAM role here, CD instance role. Now the third thing what I need to do is I need to pass a parameter telling this to install a code services, code deploy services agent here. And this is available in my gist repository. Right, you can go to my gist here. Let me put this link in the chat. And then I'll be selecting code deploy agent here. Let me copy this. That's it. The first line says it's a bash script. The second line says to install AWS CLI. And the third line says is to download this package and install. The third line is saying to download this package and install. Add storage. 8 GB is fine. I'm going to call this code deploy. Again, nothing fancy here. For these two instances, I need port 22 and port 80, HTTP port and SSH port. I'm picking up a security group where I have both. Review. That's it. So total, I have created 3 machines. Totally, I have launched 3 machines now. Right. So this is setting up. I will give a couple of minutes to settle these machines down. Do you have any questions or any thought process going on in your mind that you think you would like to ask? Okay. Abbas, did you go and vote? How are the election going on? A great victory. Imran Khan won. Congratulations, buddy. Your dream has come true. A lot of people used to say Imran Khan is like a Modi. He will change Pakistan forever. I hope you change Pakistan forever, for better, for good, for education, for jobs. Everything should be better in your country, man. What? Thank you, dude. You have to send us some sweets and all to India. Yeah, I know there will be re-election, right? There's a corruption there. Sure, I can. Which is best mithai place nearby? So you place an order from online here and in India only you will send it. Huh? There's nothing special in your country. Yeah. So both of my machines are ready now. Let's go to services and code deploy. There are a lot, but me not sure how to send. Okay, I will figure it out. For everything you have answer, man. For everything you have answer, yeah. And for Bernie also. So get started now. Custom deployment. Right, I'm gonna take a custom deployment here, and I'll give some deployment name, new project. But then next is your turn, man. You also have to send something to your trainer from your hometown. Don't think that you're also escaping it. Now there are two type of deployments that are there, right? One is an in-place deployment. And there are two kind of deployments that you have. One is an in-place deployment, right? And one is a blue-green deployment. So in-place deployment means your current infrastructure, the state of your current infrastructure, whatever codes that you have, the in-place deployment will go overwrite or change that. That is in-place deployment, or going and overwriting or changing the entire thing. That is in-place deployment. Blue and green. So blue and green represents, blue represents your old infrastructure, green is new. So assuming that you have infrastructure already that you've been using for production, but you realize that it is time you have to increase the capacity, and thereby you bring in more servers to the mix. And when you add new instances, your new instances will be empty, your old instances will be full with the application. So what your blue and green will do is it will go and periodically check which is new, go and deploy applications there first, and then it will go to the old environment and it will overwrite it. So that is called blue and green here. Haha, why you want it? I am your teacher, yeah. I am your teacher, man. Right? Politicians, teachers, managers, parents, everybody expects something, and you have to keep everyone happy. You can't say no to your parents, you can't say no to your manager, you can't say no to teachers, and you can't say no to your politicians. Right? Name. And then I'll be selecting code deploy. As soon as I select code deploy, two instances are selected. Right? And there are three options that are available. The option number one is all at once. Option number two is half at a time. Option number three is one at a time. All at once means it will go and replace all the servers. In my case, I have two, so it will go and replace on both the machines. If I have 20, it will go and replace on all 20 machines. Half at a time is, let's say you have 7 machines, it will go and replace on 3 first and then go and do it on 4 more. Or if you have 10, it will do it on 5 first and then 5 later. Half at a time. One at a time is, it is understood. If you have 10 machines, it will do one at a time on all the machines. So I will set it up to one at a time. And lastly, I will select the last role, CD service role I have to select. CD service role, and then create application. That's it. My code deploy is ready. So I have set up the complete infrastructure for my production now. The last thing that is left is I need to create a pipeline. I need to create a pipeline. Can we set priorities for the region deployment first? See, this is a regional service. So you cannot do cross region. That means you cannot have a GitHub repository in Mumbai and have a deployment in Virginia, right? Mostly that does not work that way. It is always regional. Otherwise you have to migrate your code to another region and do your deployment there. Right, but this can be deployed on multiple availability zones. If your question is, can you roll this codes on multiple availability zones? The answer is yes. That is what we're trying to attempt today. Okay, so services and pipeline. Code pipeline. Get started. I'm going to call this code deploy pipeline here. Next. In today's lecture, we'll be selecting AWS code deploy. In my previous lecture, I had selected GitHub. And there you go, I have my project here. Next step. Today also I will not be using build, at least for this project, but I'm doing one more project after this. I will show you build there. Next step. And code deploy in today's lecture. New project. And then next. So I created the role in my previous lecture. I showed you how to create. I'm going to reuse the same role here also. Next step. That's it. Create a pipeline. Right. So my pipeline will invoke here. So let me open up and let me see if I have anything in the environment there. So if you see, my pipeline has started. It has started reading the code from my code commit repository. There is nothing in this server. It is empty, therefore it is crashed. Let me try the other one. Let me check the other server. Still nothing here, right? So my pipeline is still in this stage right now. It is in the code commit stage. So this is taking some time. We will wait. While this is taking its time to do its thing. Okay, the first stage is done. So I'm in my second stage right now. What is your next question, Nabaz? What is your next question? So I'll go and refresh this and I should have a web page here. So there you go. We are ready. Congratulations. Adnan Academy DevOps class. See, this is working so far. Let me go back and let me check the other screen also. And refresh here and there you go. So I've clearly demonstrated that I have rolled the codes on two servers consecutively. That was not possible in your Beanstalk use case. Now let me show you how the pipeline can invoke. I'll go back and do some necessary changes right away. Code commit. In autoscaling, do we have instances from different regions? In the case, how can we deploy all at once? Okay. See, your code deploy, see, usually when you do release, you do on your static environment, not dynamic. Autoscaling is dynamic. Your static environment, such as Beanstalk code deploys, are the environments that will not be varying, right? For example, if you have an e-commerce website, you will not do code release immediately on the production. You will first do code release on the pre-prod. You will take a golden image out of it, and you go to the auto scaling and you add that golden image, so that every time an auto scaling happens, it picks up from the golden image that is finally signed off, right? But that is a dynamic environment where it is scaling up and down. You don't periodically release codes there. You only create a golden image and you add in the auto scaling. So I think next week you have your auto scaling lecture. It's a part of your DevOps. I will show you in practical how the auto scaling works here. Your code deploy and Beanstalk are static environments. They are part of a static environments where they are not changing. So for example, in your company you have 10,000 employees. Now all of a sudden tomorrow they will not become 20,000. To become a 20,000 employees, they would need another 5 years, or maybe 10 years to add another 10,000 workforce to the organization. So mostly by next year you'll have 1 or 2,000 more employees. But in the process, there are a lot of employees that they will leave the jobs also. So you're getting my point, right? So you're getting my point, right? So this is only for static environment. So I'll go to my code decommit here, and then I'll go to index.html. Yeah, got it. Okay, I got it. Okay, good. So I will edit this code here. I'll change some background colors. FF. I've changed, so I will give my email ID here, and then I will say BG color change. BG color change, and then I'll say commit changes. Okay, so if you see here, the background color is changed and it says a file is edited successfully. Now, if you go back to my pipeline is invoking again. It has detected the changes in my code commit and it is picking up those changes here. I'm getting there. Now I'm in my staging. See, the color is changed now. Making sense? Yes, can we continue? All right, let's continue forward then. So the next step is what we're gonna do is we're gonna set up a code star project here. Now instead of manually building it, can we automate the whole process of building a DevOps? This is called single click deployment, code commit, right? This can be beanstack, right? Sorry, this can be code build, this can be code deploy, this can be EC2, right? And then CloudWatch. So as you know, we do not have a reporting tool. So what I'm going to do is this is called one-click DevOps or single-click DevOps, where with a single click you can build end-to-end DevOps model. You can build end-to-end DevOps model here, right? So this is what I'm going to demonstrate. Now to do this, I have to go services, and there's a service called CodeStar. Now, unfortunately, this is not available in Mumbai, hence I will be demonstrating this in Virginia region. Right, so I'm going to click on create a new project, right? So when I click on new project, it is asking me what projects you want, right? So let's build a Python project today. I'm going to select Python on the left hand side, and oh my god, if I select Python, there are half a dozen different variants of Python also available, right? So I'll be selecting the Django version here, right? So I'm going to call new new Python, new Python, right? Demo, something like this I'm going to call, right? And I'll put some number here in the front just in case if I have a S3 bucket, it will not work. Now where do I want to put? I can select I want to keep this in my GitHub repository, but no, I want to maintain this to be private. Therefore, I will select AWS code deploy. Next. Now if you see here, it is taking the entire assembly line. Continue, create a project. You acknowledge and you click on create a project. Now after this, I'll be selecting Cloud9. We have discussed about Cloud9 in the previous lecture. It's a web-based IDE tool from AWS. Next. And that's it. Now this will take about 8 to 10 minutes, and then my entire DevOps is ready. So whatever we did manually in our previous lecture and whatever we did manually in today's lecture is all automated. Just with just one click, the whole system is built right now, right? What do you think about that? Yeah, let's use as full automation. Absolutely correct, Bernie. Hey, how are you getting this icon, man? Abbas, the thumbs up and all, how are you getting? For me, it is not showing here, man. Where are you getting those emojis from? See, Bernie, you're also getting emojis, Bernie. Where are you guys getting this emoji from? I don't have the option of sending emojis. Okay, mobile phone app, mobile version of this has it. Cheating, man. Right? You know the symbols. I also know. See here. Hey, what is the symbol for thumbs up here, Abbas? What is the symbol for thumbs up? No, it is sad. Hey, what man? Right? So tell me, guys, we need to buy some time. We need to keep this conversation going. This will take another 8 minutes, and we cannot sit quiet here. So let's chit chat. Okay. Is it capital Y? Hey, what you guys are doing, man? Still nothing. Hey, I have done that in curly brackets. Okay, I have to put a dot also. Doesn't seems to be working. You guys are randomly tying something, huh? Hey, what is that, Bernie? Something in that you're doing. Never mind. I'll figure that out later. I guess so. That is what he's trying to do. I think he's fell asleep on the keyboard and he's typing accidentally and these characters are coming in. So both of you have joined from your phones, is it? Both of you have joined from your phone, is it? What will you get me, Barney, from there? When are you coming back to India? August, you're coming back. Where do you stay? You stay in Bangalore? 25th going to my native. 25th of August. Are you from Bangalore or are you from Chennai, Hyderabad? Where are you from, Barney? September mid will come to Bangalore. Tanjavaru. Tanjavaru. Hey, you courier me, man. I cannot wait that long. It is still taking some time here. So while this is taking, right, I will show you how do you add users to this Code Star service. So just click on users here, add team. I hope I have any existing users. So I have Rajesh here. I will make him viewer, right? He doesn't need remote access. He is your manager. Add another team, right? Seamonth I will add. I will make him contributor and he needs remote access to that environment. And finally, I will add Shravan. I'll make him owner and owner does not need remote access. Something like this I can add users. These are the IAM users. I have showed you in your third and fourth class on how to create an IAM users and onboard them. And this is how you add and onboard them. Still taking a lot of time here. Tamil Nadu, you're from Tamil Nadu. Where did you do your schooling, Barney? You did it in India or were you born in Singapore and did you do your schooling in Singapore too? But when your dad and mom were in Singapore for last 20 years, how come you were here? With whom were you? My dad was here and your mom was in Singapore. Okay, understood. Okay, understood. Your dad and mom did love marriage? College schooling in Tamil Nadu, yes. Oh, that time only love, huh? Nice, nice. When are you getting married, dude? When are you getting married? I am not married, man. In my house, they're looking for girl. In my house, they're searching for girl. And every time we finalize a girl, the guy does not like me. The girl says he's not looking like Shah Rukh Khan, right? He's not Salman Khan. She wants Shah Rukh Khan, Salman Khan, and it looked like Govinda, right? Mostly like a comedian, and she doesn't want to marry me. Second time we looked for a girl. His father said, "Your son does not have an own house. At the age of 30, I don't know how will I get an own house." Right? My own complications I have, man. Right? I'll do something, don't worry. I have plan in my mind. Alright, so we'll click on view your application. This will give us the Beanstack URL. And if you see here, it says congratulations. You have just created a Python Django web application. This was a sample application created by my CodeStar, right? Now let me go to IDE tool here. It says start coding. I'll click on start coding. All right, happy coding. All right, welcome to Amazon Cloud 9, and this is an IDE tool, right? And if you see here, my project is reflecting here. Let me abbreviate my project. Hello world template. And if you see, I have index.html, the page that you saw, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you a complete CI/CD pipeline where a developer changes a code and everything else happens automatically and the code gets released. Everything happens automatically and the code gets released. So let me put this into perspective quickly here. So I'm going to go and change something here. So working on CodeStar project. Hope this works. Something like this. I have a thought process. So I've changed one line here, right? I'll go to file, click on save. After this, Amazon has given me the terminal right here. They've given me the terminal here. If I do ll, I don't need to log into putty also now, right? So I have ll, and if you see, right, I have one new project here. So therefore, cd get inside ll, and if you see, I have my code. The first thing what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add the changes to my GitHub repository. So I'm gonna say add git dot, and then git commit -m and your message. Code change done. Something like this. And then git push git push origin. So as soon as I've done this, my code has pushed to the code commit repository. Now if I go back to my CodeStar project, in the same screen they have included pipeline also here. And if you see, my pipeline will trigger. I will not do anything. The code is now returned to my code commit repository. This will be picked up, this will be built, and this will be deployed it all in one go. So I just refreshed the page. My code commit is in progress right now. My code commit is in progress right now. As much we are going to use more rich services, cost will increase, right? Here is a CodeStar. It will be no, it is cheaper, yeah. It is super cheap. You're taking one micro instance in Beanstack. You're using one micro instance in your EC2. Everything else is serverless. Your code build is serverless, your source is serverless. So for two instances, you will pay. See as a development overhead. See as a development overhead. If you're keeping one or two infrastructure guys, and if you're paying 10 to 15 lakhs CTC per year, you have to pay 30. Here, if you use CodeStar, even if you use 10 CodeStars at a time, you will hardly exceed nearly about 1 lakh or 1.5 lakhs in 1 year. Where is 30 lakhs and where is 1.5 lakh? So this is extremely affordable and enterprises are liking it because we are no longer in mercy of operational guys. Somebody can just sit and click a couple of buttons, the whole system is built. A development starts, when the development ends, you can delete the development environment, take the people, put them back to bench. Again, get the people back from bench, create a development environment, hand it over access to them. They will immediately start writing code. 2 months, 3 months, 5 months, when the code writing is done, the project is completed. You can take a code backup, delete your code star, and you can send them back to bench. So that is the world we are in, where typical infrastructure guy spends couple of weeks to set up the complete DevOps environment. With one click, in one less than 10 minutes, you're setting up DevOps without an operational guy. The goal here is to completely eliminate operational guys from the equation. And we need to only have developers. And if you teach them, developers can create their own environments on the fly. And they can write codes, they can test, they can do all this. Is it making sense, Abbas? So the trade-off is paid, though it is a rich service, it is significantly affordable when you compare infrastructure plus people cost. Are you understanding? Yes, it is absolutely correct. It is easy and user friendly. Right? I'm in my build stage right now. I'm building this code. Now I'm moving into application stage. It is succeeded. I'll go and check the outcome. Now the highlighted area should change here. If I refresh this, and there you go, working on CodeStar project. Hope this is working, and it worked finally. How is it, boys? Yep, it looks awesome, and you practice it, you will love it. Right? I happened to conduct batch to some of the developers, Java developers, and they went mad. They went mad. They never thought something like this was possible, and they immediately started writing codes on it, and this became favorite. And they there afterwards they never try to even delete it. They have left it forever. They continue to use this. I am telling you, it will be. Yes, indeed, it will be. Everything will be changed forever, for good. Everything will be changed. Right? So, all right, guys. So let's conclude today's lecture. I only have you two. Gautam and Deepak are missing today. Right? So let's meet up in your next lecture. Right? And then we'll continue until then. You guys have promised that you guys will do your labs, and I haven't seen the labs are coming out of you guys. Please don't disappoint me. This training is for you. Right? This training is for you. I have everything that I need. Right? But this training is for you guys. Right? Tuesday, Thursday. Nobody will come on Monday, nobody come on Friday. That is for sure. That is why I have made your class Tuesday, Thursday, so that 99% I have chances of coming. Right? Now people have started extending their week offs, and now they're not coming on Thursday also. Right? I don't know. Maybe you guys want one class or two classes in a day. I don't know what you guys want. right? The next class will be on Tuesday. You'll have lot of time until then. Complete your labs and come. Huh? Any questions, boys? Hey, nobody likes you, man. You're not nice with them. You have to be friendly with them. You hardly talk with these people and interact. Alright, boys. Chalo. Take care. You have a happy weekend. Let's catch up in your next class. Please practice your lab and send me the screenshot, boys. Thanks, guys.